Okay, I'm not going to keep you in suspense any longer. That's right, it's finally time to talk about suspension. So let's spring right into action, shall we? uh, okay, yeah, let's get to work. Alright, so what is slot car suspension and do you need it? Well, first of all, in my own terminology, and again, it just depends on who you ask, but the suspension, mostly it aids the motor pod and the running gear to keep contact with the track surface and therefore increasing traction performance. It can also help reduce some chatter vibration effect depending on the track surface, magnet or non-magnet, etc. So that gets right to the question with the track surface and everything else is, do you need it and does it work? So when you ask that question, it's kind of like a good old argument like what is the best track, what's the best tire, what's the best motor. It's a debate. Now this particular car, I do have the suspension installed, and I'll show you here real quick just basically the action that it provides. Hope that shows you. I think it's pretty clear what it does. But on a wood track, on a smooth surface like this, do you need it? That's a pretty big debate. Most people feel that it's best suited for plastic track or plastic track surfaces, wood track surfaces that are uneven, the track joints sometimes that they're uneven, that the suspension helps keep the car planted on the plastic, on these kind of rough surfaces, and that's where the suspension really does, works its magic, so to speak. That out here on the wood track, it doesn't really do much. It doesn't hurt anything, but it doesn't really help anything. But we're gonna go ahead and do some lap times, and I'm going to share that with you. But in this case of the NSR with the spring suspension system, I'm going to try a couple of different strengths that they come in, and I'm going to try 2 of those. I'm going to leave 1 car stock, and we'll just do a time test, and we'll see. But this is one of those things where it's basically up to you. It's your personal preference, whether you like it. If you feel it works, then use it. So you'll see some people chiming in. Some people swear by it, and some people, well, they just think it does nothing at all. We shall find out. Okay, pretty easy disassembly. Just turn the car over. Right here, cross tip screw, remove that, and the cap will pop off. You'll end up with that right there. Pretty easy. And now we can install the suspension. I can tell you it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to do one of them at a time. So anyway, that's disassembly. Now we'll get it installed. Okay, the rest of the assembly is pretty easy. You have these brass flat tip screws here. They go in from the bottom. They replace the ones you just took out. Once you get that in there, then you take the spring, as you can see, put the spring on top of there, and then you have your caps. And hopefully you can see here, I'll show you some photos. These caps have a little slot in them right there. Okay, and they fit over this raised area right here. You can see where they've got a ridge reinforcement right here, and that's what fits into here and keeps the cap from turning as you tighten it. So you'll put this on top, and then you will hold it in place like that. You'll flip this over, make sure that it's aligned, and just start tightening it. And you'll set it up, and then you'll adjust how much travel you want from there. Okay, for the front, I'll tell you that this is optional. I've seen some racers just loosen this up as normal for the float, and they don't install the suspension. In our case, I'm going to go ahead and install it, but it's something to test just to see which setup again works the best for you. Okay, everything's installed. Have the hard suspension here, we have medium here, and none at all here. We're just going to go with a loose pod, and we're going to test them and just see just to see what the suspension does. On the rear, I have Quick Slicks DF159XF, just making it simple, using my silicones, makes my life easy. So let's get right to the test, see what this is all about. Okay, so our car with just the pod loose, no suspension. Been testing a little bit, but I gave it a 15 lap burst. 3.469. I have to tell you, that's not slow, so it's going pretty good. Just the way it is without suspension. But, well, let's see what the other two have. Okay, first up is the medium compound, medium suspension. Let's see what it does. Oh, super smooth. I almost don't care what the time is. Love the way these cars run. Quiet, smooth, and quick. Really can't tell by driving the difference between it and just a normal pod. But it's a smooth, fast lock car, which it was before suspension. Well, we'll just see how it did. Okay, let's see how she did here. 3.481. Yeah, that's mostly my driving. That's about as close as it gets. So for the medium compound, just about even. Okay, time to test the hard suspension, hard compound. See what it has. Alright, let's see what the hard compound, hard suspension does. I can tell you right now, I do feel a difference here. Smooth and quiet. Plenty of gription. I think I feel a little bit. And then again, I could be wrong. Man, they're so much fun to drive though, aren't they? You folks out there that have these, you know. I mean, are they perfect to scale? No. We can nitpick them all day. But you know what? At this distance, watching this thing go around the track looks pretty good to me. And 3 wide with a couple of your buddies, about as good as it gets. Okay, quit playing. Let's go see what it did. Alright, let's just see what the hard compound, hard suspension gave us. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh my. Yeah. Well, what do you think? I think there's a difference. And there you have it. It does make a difference, even out here on the wood track. Yeah, there's still plenty to do. I mean, we haven't tuned with lead. We just left the magnet there just for the weight there. So there's even more factors when it comes to the tuning, but I could feel the difference, you know. So I think I'm going to order the hard compound, the hard suspension, and change it out here, re-verify the test, but I don't think I need to. People have been telling me that, and other enthusiasts out there with wood tracks have been telling me that hard was the hot setup, and they were right. Anyway, hope you guys got a kick out of the tuning sessions. Most of you already know what you're doing with NSRs, but this was fun for me. Now I've got a set of 3 cars here for when my friends show up, and we'll have a little bit of fun with them. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. Hope you guys got something out of it. And as always, we will see you online. Look forward to your feedback.